Hello, hope we're all well. So, what have we got for you? Today I have for you the Umarex P99. So, a little story about this. I had one. Unfortunately it broke. Started out by losing the back plate on the slide. I didn't. It's my friend of mine who I lent the gun. I'll hold that against her forever now. Not really. To be honest, it was slightly worn because I'd pulled it out of a metal slide version of a PPQ. They both have the same little back plate, and because the metal slide doesn't have as much give as the plastic, it kind of ruined the notches which it clicks into place with in the back, so she lost the back of it. And then I took this gun apart to try and make my own little back piece for it, and then something else broke in it, and the bit that broke in it was this little piece that's on the bottom of the inner barrel. Now fortunately, both my PPQ, which is identical pretty much apart from cosmetics, and this Walther I've got here, I've had another PPQ as well. They all have a better design to this bit at the bottom here. It's a bit beefier and less likely to break, so there's that. So on with the show. Yeah, these guns, being Umarex guns, they are traded, which is nice. One of the reasons I like to get the Umarex guns. And most of the Umarex guns, albeit none of the Umarex guns are made actually by Umarex, they're all sort of outsourced. I'm not sure who the original maker of a lot of their guns, the Springers anyway, are. But they're quite respectable in that, you know, they're quite nicely made, apart from that small little design fault, but they've sorted it out, which to me shows me that they actually think about what they're doing. Yeah, so just a general nice sort of build quality and feel to it. It's, as I said, mostly ABS, but it has got a metal trigger, mag release, slide stop, all metal, and quite a few metal internal parts as well. Magazine eject is a sort of a H&K-ish style design. Magazine, you do get two magazines when you get these guns. You get a weighted magazine and you get a rattle feed type magazine where you lock the follower down and you can rattle the BBs in from a reservoir in the back, but I prefer the weighted magazines. The weight of this gun anyways, it's not the heaviest, but it's got, for an all plastic gun, it's got quite a reasonable feel to it. The barrels themselves are actually plastic as well. I have noticed with a lot of these Umarex guns with the plastic barrels, they can have some slight burrs around the front end, but they're very easy to crown and sort out. And the hops are quite easily adjusted in these as well, which is nice. You just slip it out and add a little bit more pressure on the rubber. As standard, they hop twos, I'd say about 30 metres-ish, maybe a bit more, and I've tweaked the hop as I do, and I've got it hopping 2.5s, about 35 metres-ish, maybe a little over. Cocking wise, it's got quite a nice smooth action to the cocking and a nice pop to it. It does have a functioning slide stop. You'll notice it is a short travel on the slide, but it does have the open ejection port there, which is nice. And you'll also see when you move the slide, it does actually properly tip and reciprocate. I would think that movement is the culprit of why this little bit on the bottom broke, because that sits against the spring guide. So if you're locking it back and then releasing it, it's slamming forward, and it's slamming forward on this little piece right here. As you can see, I've actually fixed this piece, but it still went again after I fixed it. And also the piston flying forward will also put a shock through that little piece. The safety is similar on a lot of these Umarex springers. It's this little piece on the side here, and it rotates that way, rotates 45 degrees, and it's a very solid safety, I'll give it that, but not at all practical. On the real gun, I think this is similar to a Glock, and like a lot of the striker fired pistols, they don't bother with an actual safety on them because they don't need them as such. The way that they're designed, the firing pin is on half cock, and the idea is that part of the movement of the trigger actually makes it go to full cock, and that is the safety design of the gun. So yeah, I'll bore you with gun shite. They did make an original P99 Umarex but this is a later P99. You'll notice, compared to what you might be familiar with from the Bond films, the P99 that he uses has a shorter trigger mag release, whereas the mag release comes halfway across the trigger guard. Also, it has a much flatter front on the original design, whereas this it kind of slightly curves out. I've noticed two different types of frame as regards to the original version, so I don't know which one's more original or less original. But there's one with a sort of a very flat front, and then there's one with a flat front with a slight lip just to rest your finger on, which is a little kick out at the bottom front of the trigger guard. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to get my hands on one of those while they were still available. I would have liked one because I like the original style one, because it's, well, just that classic Bond P99, but hey ho. You will notice this has a threaded barrel on it. I haven't got the suppressor with me, but it doesn't do anything. It's just a tube really on the inside. It's not actually got any sort of baffles or foam inside it. It kind of changes the sound of the pop, but that's about it. But this actual barrel itself is off the first PPQ that I bought. You can buy this gun, the P99 variant, with the silencer set up, and you can buy the PPQ with the silencer set up, but this barrel itself is off my old PPQ, which is still running. But yeah, they're all cross-compatible, the barrels. One thing one of the reasons I did swap the barrels is it has the Walther trade on the outside of the chamber there, but some of them also have some other shitty details, like the energy marking, or it's either the energy marking or 6mm written on the side, and I thought, fuck that, I don't want that on the side if I don't have to, so I swapped it over. Yeah, but all in all, it's quite a cool little gun. The sights are something that I added the dots on the slide here, as I did on my original one that I bought, but this time I decided to get the silver slide version because, well, it's nice to have a bit of contrast. I like a silver slide. It does have a stripping mechanism, but it's not the easiest. As said, this little rear piece comes out maybe a little bit too easily. Fortunately, to be honest, I'd rather leave it in because every time you take it out, it wears down the clippy bits which hold it in place, and I'll just end up losing it like the last one. But yeah, you remove this back piece and it strips as per the real thing using the field strip mechanism, which is just this bit that pulls down here. That said, you have to literally wedge something like a little screwdriver and wedge it in, get one side down, hold that side down that you've already flicked down, turn it around and then get that side flicked down. And every time you do it, you're sort of scraping into the bottom edge of the slide, and it's not a great thing to do if you don't have to do it. Oh yeah, there is a cocking indicator just in the back there, which is a nice added little touch. So when it's loaded, you can see a little red cocking indicator in the back, and when it's not, it disappears. And I think that's about it. So as always, I thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good weekend all. See you later. Bye.